They were the harbingers of the fall, these children of dust. And they lit the forest with their fires, and then split it with their blades. We crept back, shapeless in the darkness, silent in the trees. The shadows are few in this age of mortals. The light beckons.
Hail, Wanderer. Would you spare a moment? I have a favor to ask you. Not much to speak of, just another soul wandering the plains, trying to get by. This used to be a peaceful place full of farmlands. It is still a quiet place, but now the freemen are lurking around, just looking to murder and thieve. It was not always the empty place you see now, but it has become little more than a stopping point between Dalentarth and Rathir for travelers. In appearances, perhaps, I'm just an alpha that needs your help. I have a few belongings to sell, and unfortunately, I've done little to endear myself to Aiton's folk. Will you sell them in my stead? The arrangement is simple. I give you an item and you sell it. I take a cut, you keep the profit. And will repeat until I have nothing to sell. Understand? There would be coin in it for you, should you help. I will wait here in case you change your mind. Hail, Wanderer. Will you and will repeat, and I thought you had the look of a trader about you. I have several items for you to sell. If you prefer, you could just buy them all now from me and sell them later. You will? I did not think that I would be as lucky as that. These are my personal effects. You should be able to sell them around town for more than what I charged you. Thank you for your coin, stranger. I will use it to buy passage to Melsenshire, to the war front. Now, I must go.
Strangers strange come to Aiton. Few come by these roads nowadays. A hard gaze falls on Aiton. Many are the burdens and few are the reliefs. Someone must go to Aiton Circle. Someone must call the Erethel. Hoping to hear a song for coin from Old Nell. I haven't sung for years, stranger, not since the war started. Ratifer. After a decade, he begs me payment for the ring, and so his promise is finally broken. Very well. I should be lucky to die unmarried rather than a widow. A forgotten spot in these plains. The land still bears grain, but few reap the crops they did before the war. Only Ron Farm stands, and flame has gutted it. The others have fallen into the hands of the freemen, bandits, marauders. The last remaining farm in the Wolds. There has been much talk of it, how Denrit and Allred Rond have gone mad. Even Finwick refuses to investigate, so wary is he of catching the madness. Though our wheat grows strong, the citizens do not. We sowed a crop that was untimely reaped. We need intervention, lest we end up like Talarain, a monument to nothing, with kobolds and raiders squabbling over our bones. I see you have a ring, tarnished green and old as Nell has grown. Bought it off old Ratty, did you? The poor drunk dear. I have the coin you seek, from a dowry never taken, for a bride never wed. A circle of the windstones nearby. When the voices from its stones sing a certain melody, the Erethel will come and end our tribulations. Each stone is a voice in the song. When all have sung in their part, the Erethel will appear. But if not, dark things for these dark times will show instead. The stones. I am unworthy. I do not think they will sing to me. You must go. It must be you. Make the stones sing their song. You will? Ayton Circle is to the south of town. Each stone carries a note of the song. In the right order, they form the song as it was to be sung. But they will not suffer a cacophony. If the songs you play will not call the Erethel, it will call darker things. For these dark... Everyone knows the song. It starts on the highest note and descends down the scale. Wait a moment. Perhaps it was start at the lowest note and descend up. Well, something like that anyway. Flutter away.
Stranger to Ayton, I'm the law in this town. Keep the peace and you are welcome to stay. If not, then you had best leave. If you need to trade, visit Banron, our smithy, and Askell deals in alchemy. And there's a general dealer staying at the inn. I am the law of the town. Ayton needed protection, and I didn't see anyone else willing to do the job. I took it upon myself to keep Ayton safe. Someone needed to do it. Used to be peaceful farmland before the war was on. Now it's some scratched-up dirt, home to Ayton and those murderous freemen. Town's becoming harder to protect. We get weaker every season, and the freemen know it. I do what I can, but we keep losing ground. Rond Farm burned not long ago, but it's too dangerous to investigate. I'll take a look at what you've got. They're certainly weathered, but there's something about these daggers. I'll part with a few coins for them. Here you are. Keep the peace.
Hello again, stranger. Hello again, stranger. It's been 10 years since I came back from Tewilly. 10 years since I took the young of Ayton and failed to come back with them. Their families, their loved ones, I couldn't look them in their faces. I could never understand what they went through, but knowing was enough. This used to be a peaceful place. It was not always the empty place.
A customer? For a minute I thought the damn freeman had fancied to rob me. Welcome. I offer some alchemical items if you are interested. Ruffians and bandits. They're scattered all over the wolds. It's dangerous wandering outside of town. It's quiet here, and I can appreciate that. But as the days pass and travellers grow scarcer, it becomes ever more difficult to make a living out here. If not for the slim flow of traffic between Rathier and Dalentar, there would likely not... It's been worse since the war. In a few decades, I am an alchemist, not a dealer in petty baubles and refuse. Wait a moment. That kerchief. It's woven of Canarok gossamer. Perfect for a solvent cloth. I spoke too soon. Here is coin for the object. I shall buy it at once. If not for the slim flow of traffic between Rathier and Dalentar, they would likely not exist anymore. It's been worse since the war. In a few decades, we'll probably be like Talarain, completely ruined. Very well. If you're heading east to the ruins of Talarain, or heading to the warfront, I suggest you stock up here. My wife and assistant. She helps me run the shop, although sometimes she creates more problems than she fixes. Very well.
Good day, traveler. You should speak with Askell if you're here to shop. He won't even let me keep the books anymore after my last mistake. I want to help him, but he won't let me near his ledgers. Askell is the owner of the shop and my husband. If you would like to make a purchase, you should speak with him. The Wolds aren't much if you're looking for excitement. At least, not before the war turned those freemen loose on us. Bandits and thieves that have been seen around the Wolds. They won't think twice of killing you for any valuables. That is the wasteland, southeast of here. Long ago, it was a grand citadel, ruled over by the Ouster family. It's since. You'll find monsters there, amongst ancient treasure. Well, if you can undo my mistake, perhaps Askell will let me help him again. I sent out several invoices the other day, but I made a slight arithmetic error that might cost us dearly. None of the customers seem to have noticed yet. Can you recollect those invoices discreetly? Oh, thank you. There's 5 invoices in total. 4 went to the townsfolk. The last was to go to the Warsworn Fortress, Helmgard, with a traveling merchant. When you have them all, bring them back to me. Oh, and don't mention this to Askell. 4 of them were given out to the townsfolk. The last was to be sent to Helmgard Keep, the Warsworn base, so I gave it to a merchant. Nice talking to you.
Looking for potions? Very well.
Hello.
Welcome to the smithy. Welcome to the clanging hammer. Don't see many new faces in Ayton these days. My forge is open. Before Talarain fell to ruin, it was Ayton's fields and villagers that stocked and supplied the various citadels there. But the war hit us hard. Bandits plagued the roads. Even Rond Farm has burned to soot. It's quiet here. Farmland mainly. But between Rond Farm and the Freemen, we've got our own worries. They have been lingering around the wolds. Be cautious on the roads out there. Those Freemen like to sneak up on wanderers. This is Ratifer's, isn't it? I recognize the work. My father did it. They're pretty tarnished, and I don't really have the time to work them now. But I'll take them off your hands. Here you go. Forge is yours whenever you need. Back for more smithy work? Or looking to use the forge? Forge is yours. Back for more smithy work? Or looking to use the forge on your own? Either way, shop's open. Forge is yours whenever you need.
There's a bed if you're stopping over, a tankard if you're thirsty, and a fire to warm by in the Golden Plains Inn. There's not much in terms of services in town. Besides the inn, you've got Banron and his smithy Askell, and his alchemy shop. Ayton started as a trading post between Dalentarth and Rathir. For a while, we even saw some profit. Until the war. Now, few come and nobody stays. Just some burned-out farms and this trading post. Different from Talarain east of here. But we've our share of problems. Ron Farm, for example, or the Freeman. Even Ratifer's causing a ruckus. It is a wasteland. Nothing but monsters and ruins. Have you heard of their trouble? Every day they're still sick. The front lines go without the grain they need. Their stores can't last forever. Always open.
Finally, someone who doesn't look like they'd keel over in a gentle breeze. The name's Kellis Sen, and no, I'm not from around Ayton. Looking to kill a little time? I have a cup and some dice. Care to toss for some coin? Or perhaps I could read your cards. I am a gambling man, stranger. Anytime you want to give the dice a roll, I'll be ready to place a bet. Getting harder to find a quiet spot in the plains, but Ayton never gave me much cause for fuss or worry. You look elsewhere in Erethel, you find unrest and chaos, but the Wolds, well, it's meeting its destiny quietly. It's a small, quiet town with not much more than a few... The most exciting thing for these... It's a small, quiet town with not much more than a few tradesmen. The most exciting thing for these townsfolk is the sight of an unfamiliar face traveling through. Another time, maybe.
Wennerid Soul of the Traveller is at your service. Been a while since I saw someone coming through Ayton. The Travellers are good traders and better treasure hunters. If there's gold, a traveller can always sniff it out. Little for one to find here in the sticks, and some people like that, I suppose. The only real worry are those damn freemen harrying the roads, giving thieves a bad name. I'm not from here myself. I know it's got an inn and it's close to Talarain, which is good for me. I mostly come here to recuperate and sell my findings between excursions. Most would say it's a monster-ridden wasteland. However, if you can deal with those beasts, then there's much treasure to be found there. Come again?
Hello there, son.
strange creatures, these mortals. They wake, they work, they worry. It is a joyless undertaking, life. The wolds now bear the mark of time, of smoke and frailty, and there is more. A wearying of magic. Did these mortals bring it with them in their tents and wagons, or is it a symptom of something much more sinister?
Ah, welcome. Welcome to my humble palace. Come, have a drink and enjoy a festive respite. I'm an only child. Both my parents passed long ago. True, I've scattered cousins and kin across the plains, but I prefer solitary pursuits. It's easier that way. Believe it or not, I'm not a native of these fair and forsaken plains. No, I was once a profitable exporter based in Rathir. Alas, my business went to the flame. Yes, that's right. I lost everything in the burn, but I found that opportunity always awaits those who search for it. It's the neighborhood burned to ash by the Tuatha in the early days of the war. It's been completely rebuilt, of course, but I know when to heed a message from the gods. Goodbye.
Hello. This is no life. Trudging in the heat, sleeping in the dust. Our whole lives have been abandoned. Damn Tuatha. Lord Crass has vowed to protect us, even though we are not of the same race. He's nearby if you wish to speak with him yourself.
This dungeon makes living out on the Forsaken Plain look like paradise. What is it now? I've told you before and I'll tell you again. We will leave when there is someplace else for us to go. Tell your friends in Emer that as long as the Tuatha burn our homes, we'll keep searching for a place to settle. I saw them with my own eyes, and I know Tuatha killed my fair share in the war. I am Elrod Edmund, leader of this pathetic band of ragmen. We come from the farms of the Twilly Coast. Go there now, and you will find only ruin. The Tuatha raiding parties terrorized us where we were safest. At home. There are spies among us, my friend, and they must be rooted out. Will you help me? Kill them. What else? I would do it myself, but I must lead my people. They have no hope left to speak of. My strength is all they have. Very well. But remember, this is not my war, nor the Alfar's. This is everyone's fight. And it will come for you, sooner or later. I was raised in Colne and spent my summers fishing the Twilly Coast. And when the war came, I threw my lot in with General Tolera. May she forgive herself. Here we are safe from the Fae, all of them. We are simple people. We don't wish to be pawns in the games of immortals, summer or winter. As for Emer, the villagers have made it very clear that we're not welcome. There would be more understanding if they had endured our hardships. They claim to be low on supplies, to be unable to spare even the smallest charity. But I know better. I have seen. Unlike us, they have everything they need, and more. My belief and my resolve are as strong as ever. If only more of my people were as convinced. Fine. Then we shall be discreet. There are 3 whom I suspect of scouting for the Tuatha. They are paid in gold. There is no record of their actions. Onred Amphast is posing as a military recruiter, while Froma and Nag are both residents of our camps in the plain. Be careful. Consider all of them well connected. Be swift. Be merciless. Onred lurks in the shade of the Forsaken Plain mostly. Try Amer, or the West Phalanx. Froma and Nag are likely in one of the refugee camps to the east. Good luck.
People said Ymir would be safe, would welcome us. They were wrong.
I've seen some pitiful people, but these refugees are the worst. Check with Han in the tavern if you need supplies. I'd avoid the town scholars. Oddwald and Anka will talk you deaf. If you want to see something special, keep heading north to the Cradle of Summer. Check with Han in the tavern if you need supplies.
Welcome. The refugees aren't the only ones affected by the war. Our dead may be buried, but we'll never forget them.
This is a nice village. I wouldn't be out here after dark. Anything can happen.
How did you get past the guards? Greetings. Check with Han in the tavern if you need supplies.
Oh, hello. I don't recognize your face. Strangers are somewhat scarce in a village like this one. Good day. I am Anka Edmure, scholar and novice sagecrafter. Of course, I may not be a novice much longer. Not after the Scholia Arcana reads my latest discoveries. I have lived in Amer for many years, uneventfully so. But recent events have led me to believe that my time here is all part of a greater destiny. You see, my apprentice Donald and I have noticed strange weather patterns that occur only in the Forsaken Plain. I don't have answers yet, but we will. I follow the strains of magic to this spot, across fields and forests and over sea and stone. There's a great power resting beneath them air. It's ancient, wild. They are the supreme authorities on magic, and for years I have petitioned them for membership. Unfortunately, they have yet to recognize my scholarship. Very few have noticed, but the temperature around the Forsaken Plain is dropping. It's so slight that you wouldn't even feel the chill unless you knew to expect it. I don't know the cause of this phenomenon, but I'm sure whatever it is will greatly interest the Scholia Arcana. Farewell.
Just give me a straight answer. Is the General still in the cradle of summer?
She is for as much good as it'll do her. But the cards don't lie. She'll never get that door open. Fate says it's so.
Yes. Well, then I suppose we'll just have to change fate, won't we? Thank you for coming all this way. I don't know if you heard that, but it sounds as if General Talera is still here in exile. For all but losing the fortress of Melsenshire. Long ago, Talera led our forces, but then the Tuatha produced a foe she could not best. Her forces barely survived the retreat out of Cluracan. Many blamed her for the loss, to have built up hopes so high, only to have them topple. That was Talera's crime, and she has paid for it, day after day. You're as quick as ever. Talera is in the cradle of summer, banished from the battlefields of Melsenshire until she can atone for her past. According to the Fate Weaver here, she seeks an artifact from Ural Tusk that might break the siege and aid our forces. But she cannot do so alone, for poor Talera is fated never to succeed. That is where you can help. In a hidden valley, northwest of the plains of Erethel, the ruins of Ural Tusk lie undisturbed, as they have for many centuries. What Talera wants there is beyond me, but I trust her, even if it goes against my better judgment. Last I heard, General Talera was somewhere in northern Erethel, searching for a way to turn the tide of the war. I think she took a squad to Ural Tusk. You should be just what the General's looking for.
Got any coin to spend? How's for a quick fate read? Got the cards all ready. Don't know much about it, really. I'm not from here, I'm just passing through. If you've got a knack for it, there's a living to be scratched out of fate weaving. Farmers like to know their yields in advance, at least. Nasty out there. But with Freeman plaguing the roads south, there's not much safer travel to be had. Cold comfort. Pleasant travels.
Need a hand? Hello, I'm Orca Tetran, village healer. You're new in Amer. I never forget a face. Are you with the refugees? I'm sure you've heard about how Amer is the birthplace of modern herbalism, a cradle of enchanted flora, a haven for the wildest reagents. Me, I don't care about that. I like the people. We get all sorts of interesting folk in here, like Oddwald the Scribe, like you. Nope, I'm never bored, not in Amer. I've never met one so obsessed. He goes on and on about his life's work, as if other mortals will find his study of the Fae as fascinating as he does. You can usually find him holed up in his house across the way, but sometimes he spends time here with us in the tavern. They are sorry caravan. I, for one, believe their stories. Look what the Tuatha have done across the sea, and what they intend to do if they arrive here. Gods forbid. What would stop them from sending warriors to hunt us down by our very hearths? The Tuatha will not rest until they break us. That is why we must never let them. Bye. Stay safe.
Please, make yourself comfortable. We don't see too many travelers in Amer these days. Not with that forest of tents growing out. Relax and partake of what our small hamlet has to offer. This is the birthplace of alchemy in the Feylands. These plains have been soaked in the deepest magic. Every leaf, every stem, every root holds secrets. If you want to know more about our history, and about the fascinating flora and fauna of the Forsaken Plain, speak to Molly upstairs. She's a sweetie. Refugees from the coast of Twili. They claim their village was burned by Tuatha, but I know better. The Tuatha here in the realm of the Summer Court? I think not. They began arriving several weeks ago, marching from Gallifore with their belongings dragged behind them. We've given them all we can, but we only have so much. Come again.
Isn't it a glorious day, as if Helios himself warms us with a smile? To what do I owe this courtesy? I only have a few moments to spare. The godstorm awaits my return, and it doesn't like to wait. I was born in the city of Rathir, an orphan of the Winding. One day, I stumbled upon the Scholia Arcana library, and I found new life in the ancient books. It is a good place to find the peace I need to complete my work, although the refugees have certainly slowed progress. I am not one for the cacophony of any kind. I don't know how the Fae in the Cradle of Summer can stand having us so near. Our mortal din is far too distracting, even for me. I have never laid my gaze upon it. Such a thing would not be proper. I am a dustling, a child of death. The Cradle of Summer must not be sullied by my taint. My advice to them would be to gain some perspective. Villages grow and burn. There is only one event that is worth our attention, and that is the Godstorm. Of course, I don't typically prefer the company of others. Take the leader of these refugees, for example, Master Elrod Edmund. Gruff, coarse, not a pleasantry in sight. Why, the Godstorm is the greatest event that our fragile world has ever witnessed. It was a battle, a conflict between Fae. They call it the Withering War. That's why I relocated to Emer to complete my book, the definitive work on the subject. The village is nice enough, quiet, although the new arrivals give me no peace. Sadly, I lack the last few resources needed to tell the full story. The works of the famous scribes Ewald, Dalston, Callas, and Wildfrold. Gone. I was so close. They are lost to the ages, I'm afraid. Minds such as Ewald and Callas are rare. I suspect that their works have been spread across the plains. It is not in the Fae's nature to fight. The summer and winter courts have existed in harmony since the beginning of time. Leave it to us mortals to ruin a good thing. 500 years ago, the Summer King Issa and the Winter Lord On broke from that pattern and fought a battle here, on this very plain. The land carries the scars. Athene's wisdom be yours.
Hello there. It's about time. Someone new. I was beginning to think I'd turned to dust here at this counter alone, uninteresting and not having spoken to another soul in days. Han likes to keep me up here, because down there I fill his ears with talk. Like that's a bad thing. This village is a graveyard sometimes. Talk would do it some good. Molly Janik at your service. I teach alchemy. What can be taught, that is. Most of it is a gift. Either you have it, or you don't. Dull. I hate to say it, but the refugees are the most excitement we've seen here in weeks. You'd think there'd be more drama with a war on, but not in Emer. Here we are between the Cradle of Summer and Rathir, and I spend my days watching the clouds drift by. Han is an idiot. He's the only one who's imposed this ban on refugees in the village. To what end? They don't want trouble. Only food, water, a warm bed. Idiot. It's big business around here. The magic of the Forsaken Plain has cooked up some mighty strange ingredients, that's for sure. You'll find some pretty weird stuff. My father was an alchemist. He trained me and my sister Lila to carry on his legacy. Lila hates people, spends most of her time in the Cradle of Summer, alone. What do you want to know? If you're going to spend time with Lila, you might want to prepare yourself beforehand. She's, unique. Lila has spent far too long in the Cradle of Summer with the Fae and their magic. All of that exposure has, how do I put this, altered her perspective. She's strange, all right. There, I said it. So bored.
I am on official business. Unless you've been sent by the Alfar army, we have no reason to speak. Good riddance. I'm finished with you. I was a soldier once, in the years before the Crystal War. I saw many die at Galafor Fields. You could say I learned my lesson. I'm here as a recruiter for the Alfar army. My superiors believe there's still fresh blood to be wrung from the Forsaken Plain. They're wrong, of course. Let's just say I'm glad I'm not one of them. War is harsh on many people in many ways. Those of us who can avoid the suffering should. Ask anyone and you'll get the same answer. They're animals. They care nothing for the mortal races. We're just dust to them. A spy? Me? Ridiculous. Good riddance. Yes? I'm finished with you. I was a soldier once. I'm here as a recruit. Let's just say I'm glad I'm not one of them. Ask anyone and you'll get the same. Enough! Keep your voice down. You're right. I'm a scoundrel and a coward. But you would have done the same thing. Give me a chance to make it right. You have my word, as a father. My informing days are over. Good riddance.
Hi.
Help me, please. I've been robbed. The rogue stabbed me, made off with my belongings. Blast! I can't believe I lost the amulet! Damn, Freeman. We refugees are an easy target. There's little we can do to defend ourselves. He came from the cliffs. A bandit, I think. Stabbed me in the back, then made off with my satchel in his hand, and a wicked smile on his face. My mother's prized amulet is gone. A kind woman's last gift to her devoted son. I am in no condition to give chase. Will you help me? I don't know. It looked like one of the bandits that prey on us poor refugees. That amulet could fetch a fair sum. So I am. What of it? My treacherous partner stuck me when my back was turned. First he nicked me, then he nicked my bag. Not like it matters. If you bring that amulet, I'll pay you for it. It's that simple. Mine or not, I intend to have that prize. Don't insult me. You know damn well who I am, and what I've done. I'm surprised Immundus's wrinkled old head had enough sense left to tell you. They should be ashamed of themselves. With all they have, the least they can do is spare a little extra for the dying. We're not bad people, just unlucky. Haven't you heard? The Tuatha have moved raiding parties inland. They've sacked homes all along the coast. Farms burned, whole families killed. Those of us that have survived are moving west, hoping the Summer Fae will provide a safe haven. The last hope for the hopeless. Not professional bandits, exactly, but sly enough to cut a living out of this dried and dusty wasteland. You never know where they're going to strike next. It was an item of much sentimental value. It had a name. The Ear of Barnabas. No, the Eye of Sunspar. It was something ridiculous. So, old Immundus knows what well, I don't have the amulet. Gelt does. He took it from me. In exchange, he left his dagger in my shoulder. Hurry, there isn't much time.
You again? I've told you everything I know about those two knaves. Do not waste my time. Return to me only if you carry my stolen amulet. I will reward you well. Farewell, stranger. You again? I've told you everything I know about those two... I've told you everything, fool. Farewell, stranger. You again? Farewell, stranger. You again? I've told you everything, fool. This village was once a bustling crossroads for traders and dealers in the arcane. However, in recent years, it has become a barren outpost for the ignorant. Disgusting, sweaty, pathetic things. Do not misunderstand me. I have sympathy for the wretched, but only if they're far from my doorstep. One must keep an eye on every possession since the freemen began to terrorize the plain. Some dare to enter the village even with the militia outside. It was an impressive gem sold to me on the road to Haxi. Quite the curio. It is called the Eye of Aman, a magical token shaped by the Fae Aman the Clever. I've yet to research it thoroughly, but it is certainly valuable. Farewell, stranger.